So I had two client calls this morning, and both of them started in pretty much the same way. I know I'm totally capable, but right now, I just don't feel that. And listen, if you've got what it takes, but you just can't tap into it because of what's going on around you, you should know that that's really common in the job search, especially now. And there's nothing wrong with you. You're not missing anything. By the end of this semi-short episode, I'm going to tell you 3 strategies that I'm preparing our clients with so that you can put them into practice too. And that way, you can show up calm, sharp, and a whole heck of a lot more confident. Now, listen, before we get into any of that, whether it's your first time here, welcome, so happy to have you, or if you've been listening for a bit, if you want a mini course for your job search so that you know you're on the right track at every stage, then grab our podcast roadmap. It has all of our best episodes on each job search topic, and it's organized for you so that you don't have to be searching and jumping around for what you need. You're welcome. You can download it at theuncommoncareer.com/roadmap. Again, that is theuncommoncareer.com/roadmap. Hey there, you're listening to the Uncommon Career Podcast, and I'm here to make sure that you are not on your own in your search because you and I are in this together. So I encourage you to meet with me every week here for a career confidence boost and for job search strategy to help you put your best foot forward. I'm your host. My name is Patricia Ortega, and I'm your career coach, brand strategist, and I myself am also not immune to those I got it, but I just can't tap into it moments. I'm going to give you a little story, and it's going to illustrate exactly what I mean and why we've reached our threshold when that happens. See, several years ago, it was tax season. And you know that moment when you're on the couch, you've got your laptop open, it's probably like 9, 10 o'clock at night, eyes bloodshot, and way too many windows open? Okay, that was me. I kept telling myself, no, I know I can do this. But in that moment, no matter what I said, I felt so unsure. I ended up redoing that spreadsheet 5, 6, 7 times. And no matter what I did, I could not reconcile it. So then I started searching for answers. And you know, when you do that thing where you look at different experts to make sure you have like the best information? Well, I did that. But then you and I both know what happened. I ended up getting confused because everyone was saying conflicting things and the context was all off. Anyways, that was the moment when I realized that I was at my threshold. I was like, dude, I just can't keep doing this. April 15th is coming up right around the corner. And at this point, I'm wasting time. If this is important enough that I'm stressing out this much over it, then it's important enough to get off of DIY and call a real person. So I look around and I find this woman. Shout out to Sheila. She is amazing. She has a teacher's heart. She really took her time with me and shared her expertise with me. And the best part is she set me up with a routine that now feels like second nature. My confidence is back. That get her done attitude is back. And as a result, I am happy to report that my financial spreadsheets have been ready since the beginning of January. See, at one point, things were simple. Whether taxes or the job search, 30 minutes and a quick DIY was all we needed. But as we level up, our approach has to level up too. And knowing that you're capable, but feeling that you're lost is a sign that you've probably reached your threshold. So let's get into this, get your game face on, and I'm going to share with you the 3 things I'm doing to make sure that my clients are ahead of the game now that more data and essentially more AI is in the picture and is helping recruiters and hiring leaders to come to the table even more prepared. So there's 3 things that I'm doing. First, it's sharpening brand development. Second, it's strategizing the screening. And third, it's adding another layer to our interview kit. Okay, so the first layer in this process is the resume review. Now, of course, we all pretty much know that at this point, you're kind of writing for an AI audience first and then for your human audience. We already know the system is analyzing for insights and patterns like relevant experience, not just total experience, for skills, both explicit and inferred, the through line of your career progression and growth, and a bunch of other factors such as, time at company, type of metrics, and so on. There's a lot of pieces that are coming together, and it's not just individual pieces. AI is synthesizing all of this to decide where you rank. Now, have these pieces been here before? Yes, they're not new. What's new is that before, a human would do more of the review. But now AI is taking some of that cognitive load and interpreting a whole heck of a lot more beyond the do you have X keyword kind of search. So, how do we strategize at this early resume and application stage? Well, I'm going to share something with you that came to my mind. It's a good way of thinking about this. You want to stop the assumption trap. The assumption trap is assuming that AI can understand your qualifications because when you read the posting, you think, okay, that is exactly what I did in my last role. See, when you and I read things, we see ourselves into it because in our mind, we have all the context we need to connect the dots. But AI may not see the connection the way you do because all it has is the text on the resume. So instead of scanning to see if you meet the qualifications and maybe doing a bit of retargeting, you want to make sure that your story is clear on paper from the beginning. Okay, now let's get into the screening. See, screenings exist to validate experience, to answer questions, address friction, and to fill in any gaps that the recruiter might believe is there. But then after asking you a question, realizes there's not a gap at all. Now, during this call, I'm going to tell you what most people do, and then I'm going to share what you should do instead. See, most people treat this like the easiest part of the process. It's just a quick Q&A with the recruiter. But that leaves way too much up to chance. Instead, what I want you to do is give them what they need in the clearest possible way. That means that you're coming in ready with statements to validate what's on your resume with a little bit more detail, and also statements that help to add context to any gaps or risk factors or conflicts. The point is that this is where you frame your story in a way that you maybe couldn't in your resume or in the cover letter. Now, let's say that you did an amazing job in the screening, and so now you make it to the first interview. At this stage, the hiring leader has all kinds of data, technology, and AI on their side, right? And one of those pieces is called a success profile. Now, this is coming up more and more and more. Now, have you ever heard of a little thing called psychometrics? See, psychometrics make up a good chunk of a success profile. And psychometrics is a science of how you think and behave. And in hiring, psychometrics can help you to find professionals that are, by the numbers, more successful in one function versus another. So there's going to be a different profile for someone in sales versus someone in operations or IT. There's different qualities that make someone naturally successful in those spaces. Again, according to the numbers. Now, you might have taken a survey or an assessment, and so that's what's happening when you take those assessments. But even if you don't, people can look for those types of qualities as they listen into your interview. Now, I can almost hear somebody thinking, wait a second, I am not going to change who I am just to fit their mold. And you know what? They shouldn't. That would be lying. But what you want to do instead is to discover what personal existing qualities you already have that you can lean on. And let's say that your natural qualities don't fit that success profile. That's okay. Share how your unique way of working gives them an edge or fills a gap on the team. Here's a tip. Go into your AI and ask it to prepare you as if you were a hiring leader for X role and X type of company. And you want to ask, what psychometrics should you look for? Now, that's going to help you understand what a successful candidate might look like beyond the on-the-posting technical abilities and what characteristics might make someone successful in that role. Now, part of what we do in the Uncommon Career Coaching Program is to create your interview kit. That means we co-develop the verbiage to express your experience and to get ahead of any potential friction. We also now cover psychometrics in your mock interview so that you know what the real and genuine qualities are that you want to lean on, and you practice on making those naturally come out. Now, whether you're preparing now or if we prepare for it together, just remember that in interviews, you want to understand and speak to psychometrics. Okay, so to recap, number one, your resume is a story of your natural progression towards the role you're targeting, told in outcomes. Number 2, once you get to the screening call, your job is to frame your story in a way you couldn't frame in your resume and to reduce any friction that's come up so far. And number 3, in interviews, one of the best things you can do that almost no one's doing right now is to understand and speak to psychometrics. Listen, a lot has changed. And with AI and technology and just everything that's going on in this world, what companies are looking for is getting more and more specific. And while it's true that hiring is complex, it's also true that professionals that have their brand dialed in get the better roles faster, regardless of whether it was back in 2010 or now in 2016. The big difference is that now the gap between those who do have their message dialed in and are super clear in what they offer and those who don't is getting bigger and bigger. And that's what our program's about. My goal is to leverage skills that set you up as a top candidate no matter what market you're in. This is an incubator where I coach you to develop, optimize, and internalize your brand message so that you start getting screenings, you win at interviews, and you get hired months, maybe even years faster. We'll start first with positioning to make sure you're targeting the right niche space. And then we co-create your brand message together. Once you and I have that down, I'll take it from there. We'll draft your fully custom plug and play materials. And at the next stage, we craft that interview kit we talked about. You end up getting mental space right away. And because everything's ready to go, every step you take in your search feels that much more confident and anchored without worrying that you're going to get stuck on that one question or second guessing whether or not you're ready. If you think that would help you to keep your momentum going and to make sure that you don't settle along the way, then I invite you to a conversation at theuncommoncareer.com/call. We'll spend the first 15 minutes understanding the challenge. Then we'll spend about 15 minutes pinpointing the root issue and the strategy that can turn your search around. If it turns out that partnering together would be a good fit to make sure that strategy is put in place well, then we'll talk more about the program. I want to make sure that you have the right tools in your toolbox for this specific search. And if that's coaching through our program, great. And if it's not, I'm happy to point you in the right direction. Again, that's theuncommoncareer.com/call to schedule a call. Now that we're wrapping up this series, I would love to hear from you. What should we talk about next? Send me a message at theuncommoncareer.com/ask or click the link in the description and let me know what our next topic should be. I cannot wait to hear what's on your mind. Until then, know that Denise and I, we're cheering you on, we're praying for you, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. If you found this episode helpful, please tap the 5-star review on the show's homepage in your podcast app. It would absolutely make my day, and it helps others discover the Uncommon Career Podcast. Now, to download your free career resources and learn how I help seasoned professionals land amazing offers in as little as 90 days, click on the link in the description or go to theuncommoncareer.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.